Hi everybody, this is Angelica and today I'm interviewing Nick Allexon. Hi Nick, how are you today?
Doing well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course, thank you for taking the time to be on this show. And how did you first start photography?
Well, I was getting over a breakup, as you normally do. I started cleaning up my car, found my grandfather's press pass from World War II in the car, and I said, hey, I've never tried photography before, maybe I should give it a try. So found his press pass, picked up a camera from a pawn shop, just started shooting.
Oh, that's awesome. What was your first camera? Do you remember?
My first camera was the Canon EOS Rebel XS. I had very basic lenses. Like I said, I got it from a pawn shop, so whatever they had, I took. I think 18 to 55, something that you had on your camera, and a 55 to 250 as well. That's basically what I had, just a couple kit lenses.
Oh, nice. And what was it like when you first started taking pictures and exploring photography?
It was very difficult because I was still learning how the rotators worked and everything like that on top of the camera. What each setting meant, I just figured, okay, why don't I just shoot auto? And then I figured out that auto was really not so good. So you figure out, you shoot program sometimes, and that's a little bit better. But eventually I found my rhythm when I started shooting aperture priority. I was doing model shoots on the beach, stuff like that. That was how I started. My friend wanted me to come out, take some shots. You know, I ended up shooting this whole day on the beach with a whole bunch of Chicago models. It was pretty cool.
And is that how you first started getting clients, or did you get clients other ways?
I went out and kind of scouted myself. First person I met was Autumn, and she was just like, why don't you come out, shoot models? Okay. But then, you know, models would lead to car shows would lead to different events, family events. Lots of people will want me at their house to shoot birthday parties, things like that. I mean, one thing just led to another.
Oh, that's awesome. And when did you realize that photography was a passion of yours?
Pretty much from the moment I picked up the camera. Like I said, it was just something I'd never tried before. I just wanted to give it a shot. And I ended up getting hooked.
And do you have a favorite type of photography, or do you like exploring a bunch of different genres?
I like exploring a bunch of different genres. I think that the car shows are my favorite. Just as you've seen my car, so I shoot that quite a bit. My grandfather has a 55 T-Bird that I like to shoot as well. So I mean, whatever comes up, I'll just shoot it. But yeah, I like a lot of local car shows. That's just where I seem to have the most fun.
Are you going to any coming up?
Well, with summer coming up, the opportunity is going to be there. So I get to take my car out and I get to shoot as well.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome that, do you actually show your car at all, or do you just mainly take it out to different events?
I show it. Got a couple third place trophies downstairs from a couple of car shows. You know, I think, you know, mostly the kids just enjoy it though. When I take it out, it's like they have it as their little Batmobile almost.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah, and I let them sit in there, and you know, they can see what it's like behind the driver's seat and stuff like that. Of course, I never have the car rolling when they're doing that, but it's still something the kids enjoy because a lot of people are very touchy about their cars. They don't let other people touch. They don't let other people get in. You know, they want to keep everything spick and span. Not me.
Oh yeah, that's awesome that you share with people. And do you ever like go in character, or do you just bring your car?
I just bring the car.
No dressing up as Batman.
No, not yet. I'm sure that's going to come eventually.
That'd be a cool side hustle, actually.
It would. But I need to lose some weight to get into that.
Nah, you don't have to. Right. And what is your opinion about shooting special events like weddings, like birthday parties?
I love it. I mean, I love pretty much every type of photography that I do. The thing is, I have to have a connection with the bride before I shoot, though. I mean, because that's the one who's ultimately getting the pictures. We go over exactly what we're going to shoot, what I need to capture, what special moments I need to capture, where I need to be. Make sure I'm not getting in the pre-space when I'm doing my photography, all that. It's how the lighting is going to work that day. You know, if we have to worry about the lighting, if we're indoors, if we're outdoors. I mean, every single detail goes into it. So it's not a strenuous process. The strenuous process comes when you're editing the photos, but when you're figuring out where you need to be for weddings, it's tough to figure out unless you know everything about the venue that you're in, exactly how to shoot.
And do you ever visit like where you're going to be shooting before the event, or do you usually just figure it out on the day of?
if it's possible, I'll go before, if it's close enough. Like, I just shot my cousin's wedding last year in Seattle, right? And there's no way I was going to get there before the wedding to see what I was shooting with. So we used the rehearsal dinner for me to get used to the area and stuff like that. Unfortunately, we were working with a really bright sun on our wedding day, which I was hoping wouldn't happen, but sometimes you just got to shoot around that and do the best you can do.
And how do you shoot around that?
You use the bounce a lot more. The bounce is the light you put on top of the camera. You put in the white card so everything gets even lighting.
Oh,
the best you can do. Yep.
That's good, because I know some weddings, if it's too bright, or it could totally affect all the photos.
Right. But you need the flash to knock out the sun.
Oh, wow. I didn't think of it that way, that the flash could knock it out. And what is your advice for beginner photographers?
Just go out and shoot. You're going to get used to your equipment eventually. You're going to find out that there's certain styles that you like to shoot. You can find different angles. I mean, everybody goes by the rule of thirds generally, which is keep things to one particular third of the camera itself. I like it a lot because I like things either to one side or the other. Dead center can kind of be boring most of the time, but I like to tilt quite a bit more because it adds a little bit more drama to certain shots. I mean, and if you go out to event photography where they have a step and repeat in back and everybody's in really cool dress, then you want to fool with the angle a little bit.
Oh yeah, definitely. And what do you think about advertising through social media?
I can see where the advantages are of it. For me, I mostly go word of mouth. This would actually be my first time advertising for myself is on your program.
Oh, wow.
So
that's an honor, actually.
Right. I mean, I've worked with this director, Michael Jolls, as well, and he's got me enough press out there just through doing his behind the scenes. I've been a producer on some of his films and done behind the scenes photography.
And what is the biggest obstacle you came across as a photographer?
It's always adjusting for the situation. I mean, you never know how light or dark something is going to be when you're in a spot. I mean, you could be shooting in a pitch black environment, in which case you always need the flash. But I'd say the getting used to adjusting is always the hardest part. I mean, finding out exactly how you need to shoot.
And then I know you touched a little bit on this, but what is the hardest thing to edit?
What's the hardest thing to edit? Well, I mean, I believe people have a natural beauty to them. So if people have a scuff on their face, that's natural, or if they have pimples on their face that are natural, I don't like to really mess with those too much because it's part of who they are. I see a lot of photographers that will go in and actually remove everything from the face and it just looks unnatural. For me, I like to find the happy medium. Like, if something is going to stand out and not look good, I'll remove it. But other than that, I like to keep things as they are. I'd say removing things from the background is probably the hardest thing for any photographer to do, just because, sometimes you will take a photo and people will be like, well, I don't want that in the background. Can you see what you can do to remove that? And most of the time you cannot remove the entire object from the background. It's just too much work and it warps the photo too much.
And what do you think of using AI to help you edit, or just using AI in general?
It's an advantage sometimes, but as far as I can tell, the human eye can catch everything. So I'm just into doing it naturally. Of course, I use Lightroom and Photoshop. Those are the two primary editing software products that I use. And I don't go too much into AI on that.
Yeah, not too much. And what was the hardest situation or the hardest client to deal with?
I really haven't had any difficult clients, as far as I can tell. If I had to think about it. Yeah, I can't think of any offhand right now. But yeah, I'm sure I'm going to run into something at one point in time.
And have you ever received any odd requests as a photographer, or?
There have always been, shooting with models, there have always been provocative requests, but that's up to them. So that's not up to me. I can't ask someone to do something that they don't want to do.
And do you have any limits on what you will and will not shoot?
Sure. I mean, I don't want to do anything that would be considered pornography or anything like that. I mean, I want to keep my photography family friendly for the most part, unless I'm working with a client who is putting something out to like an OF or something like that. Then that is strictly theirs. I won't bring it to any websites. I'll say, look, this is your stuff. Here you go. I won't distribute it elsewhere. I'll give it just straight to them.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
Because I hear different stories. And for photography, are you mainly Team Canon or are you Team Sony?
I'm Team Canon.
How many Canon cameras do you have, would you say?
Probably 6 or 7.
6 or 7?
Yep.
And that's an awesome collection. And also you have a Batman collection.
I do.
Will we be able to see it?
Sure. I mean, I just started collecting a couple years ago, and it's become an obsession. Again, a buddy of mine got me into it. He showed me one of his McFarlane figures one day. I took a look at it, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. Because I used to collect as a kid. I had every He-Man figure, every G.I. Joe, every Star Wars, you name it. I had it. And then I went off to college, and I got back from college. I asked Mom, where are my action figures? Oh, I sold them at a garage sale for $1.
Oh, no, because I was going to ask you if you still had any from your childhood.
No, everything is what I've collected in the last 2 years.
Oh, last 2 years?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we're definitely going to have to see it. But thank you so much for answering my questions, and we're so excited to see your Batman collection.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.